started, and also to see if this is working. How do I test this? Got my things correct. Counts. Ah, here we go. I'm watching myself. Nice. Okay, so then I shouldn't listen to myself. Okay, so next, I guess, is to test. Alright. Is this. Oh, okay. It's playing on Facebook. I have it not recording either, so it's ephemeral. This will actually not be a thing once it's done. You can save it. Good to go. Oh, huge. I swear. Okay. There. Right, well, let's just get started. It doesn't really matter if anyone views it or comments. I just want to see it. Currently on streaming to YouTube and Facebook. It's weird. I've not done that before. And the game I'm playing is Baldur's Gate 3, which you can clearly see. We're going to do, as always, for me, and we're gonna try and make me, if we can. Let's see, and as you can see, there's some different loading screen because of mods and all that. We will all the goodness. Theoretically, I should be able to respond to comments from both places I'm streaming to. So let's see how this works. Excuse me. Hundreds of times. My hype for this game. Warning for gross things if you're coming on the stream. Mind flayers and mind flayer tadpoles are quite the body horror. Ooh.
Who are you?
I need to reset it. Now it's time for some character creation. Ugh. I'm going to do. I make. Let's see if that's possible.
Where to next?
That's not my life.
What was that?
Let's hope the locals are friendly.
Health.
Be wary.
It's opened.
More of those wretched things.
Oh, those wretched.
There's magic keep.
Where to next?
Not nearly as muscular either. Good God. Okay.
What was that?
Character. Hold that, because I want to get the class done first. I want to figure out what I am. Rogue, sorcerer. Oh man. Might be more warlock though. I like warlocks. Ranger. Have like a pet? I haven't used Ranger a lot in this game, so that. A beefy Ranger type. To be this beefy, I feel like I should do like martial, but you know what? I'm gonna do Ranger. Favorite. Yes, find familiar. That's what I want. I want a pet. The game only. Background. Don't like the odds. Stats. Generally unevens. Next modifier up. Allow me to get. Well, it's better than not. I think I'd have to go. Yeah, that's. Yes. That'll have to do. we'll start there. You can see I've got a ton of hair mods. Skin color, warm tone. I'm pretty pale. That works for now. The hair, right here. Not quite right. Nope, not quite my hair either. Close, but it's gonna become. Now, go. Sure. Highlights. No, don't have highlights. Start with that. Oh, no. Reasonable with the beard I have. Dangle. It's not me. Oh, it's way more messy. Would have probably no. Color. Oh, I can't have different color. Brown gold 5. Brown gold 5. Sorry, what? Oh. Is this? Hair. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Do that. Facial hair. What? Can I not? Really stupid thing to get hung up on, but I thought I could have different beard. Telling me I can't. That would be too much to ask for. maturity. Put 40. Come on. There we go. Put the bags under the eyes. Quality. Intensity. That's what we know. Quite close. I guess not for the fictional stuff. Ooh. Slash across the eye. I think I'm good. It's not perfect, but I don't know if there's anything good do to make. Absolutely. It's aspirational. Well, I mean, it's crazy. That thick either. Good enough, I guess. Hairdos that might work a little bit better. Part. Okay. All right. So we're good here. I think. It's not exactly accurate, but it's at least fantasy game accurate. Ranger, bows, pet. Time to name my guy. Work.
You need a guardian. Choose one.
This is your default guardian. Yeah, sure, why not?
Remarkable. Truly.
Truly remarkable. All right. I haven't had a chance really to subject players, maybe used to mind flayers. I should really rectify that. If you're in any of my games, don't listen to that. Hey, Brock. Commenting. Too. Howdy. You're just here at the beginning. Just done the arduous process of creating a character. Whoa! Might be lag in the comments. Try to respond if you can. Yeah, I'm creating a Baldur's Gate version. Accurate? Just the second half of the opening cinematic. I really expect my players to evasion. Yeah, this experience here, like this is good. Alright, connect those fleshy ribbons. Also playing with mods. You'll see things that are not exactly vanilla in the game. As in, just party. Almost. Second. Giselle. I like Giselle. I'd like to try this falling again. Rock. Testing out features as well as streaming. Ah, yes. We are elves. Avernus. The first layer of the Nine Hells. Up. I also want to take my players to Avernus at some point. For my players, don't listen. Shut your ears. I look. Whatever. I'm just a big old muscular dude. That's to be my. Okay.
Oh, my head.
Adjustable party limit successfully installed. Okay. There you go. Escape the novel. Check the. Floyd got it. Story. Played on controller. Fast travel. Is a little hard to see. Playing on a lower resolution for the sake of my computer.
Wonder if the gods are watching me. Open up. Dead. Good. tries to put my hands on everything.
Not true. So, interestingly enough, when you're playing on PC, you can either use your keyboard mouse setup, which gives you this point and click thing, or use controller, which feels closer to third person movement fighting sort of. It's a little bit more active.
A schematic of a nautiloid flashes into your mind. Nerves, sinews, as much living being as ship.
Let's take that because I take everything. Let's see. Tablets. That's what I'm looking for. Sneak. Oh no, I don't want to attack anything. My goodness.
I'll take that.
I meant to read that actually.
Worlds beyond worlds flash before your eyes. Empires of a grand design traversed by ships just like this.
Pardon a second. I need to see the keys. Keybinds. Tactical camera, backward. Camera left. Rotate. Zoom in, center. Camera rotate. Okay. Like characters. What's the grave button? Show item. Labels is alt. That's what I want. Sneak cones is left. Group hide. Shift C. C. Shove. End turn. Shift space. Adventure panels. User interface. Skip table items for container space. Oh, really? Select next character. Select slot. Skip video. Escape. Okay.
You're trapped.
Highlight. Those things aren't important.
1,000 years of humanoid history, elves, dwarves, humans, and more flash behind your eyes.
Release us.
There's also like gross horror-y times. Just a heads up. A little bit of a content warning. Dark. Quite make out. Been warned on the gross front.
Yes, you've come to save us from this place. From this place, you'll free us.
The exposed brain quivers in expectation.
Please. Before they return. They return. Remove us from this body. From this case. Free us. Please.
Ten. Just a mod. 30-20. It's gonna be gross. Oh, I should Warning, warning, warning.
The brain lifts from the skull, but you notice an opportunity. You could cripple the strange creature, making it more subservient should it prove a threat.
If you saw the D&D movie, it came out a few years ago. You see these guys, these
Our
intellect
freedom is
devourers.
ours, friend.
The creature pauses, listening.
They're hideous.
Something behind
And oh
your
so fun to
eyes
use in
seizes in
D&D.
recognition.
We must go to the helm. At the helm, we are needed.
Needed. Now. Yes.
To the helm we go. We are going to the helm.
Yeah. Dark. The screen is dark, but we will be in light spaces. Let's go back to the apparatus. In general, this is just a very awful place. Look at all that. Yeah, that's pretty bad, isn't it? There we go. Cutscene time.
Abomination. This is your end.
Your head throbs and your skin tingles. Visions rush past. A dragon's wing, a silver sword, and a flash of your face seen through the strange woman's eyes.
My head. What is this?
If you had looked closer behind glasses.
Skvar. You are no thrall. Vlaakith blesses me this day. Together, we might survive.
What made you think I was
We
a troll?
carry mind flayer parasites. Unless we escape, unless we are cleansed, our bodies and minds will be tainted and twisted. Within days, we will be Geich, mind flayers.
Turning into mind flayers? There's something. There must be something.
We can do nothing until we escape. That must be our priority.
I this game way too much.
First, we exterminate the
Back to
imps.
the page.
Then
So
we
many
find
times
the
I'm
helm
reading
and
along
take
with
control
that.
of the ship. As for that thing, it will remain tame as long as it believes we are thralls. It may be of use in the fight to come.
Yep. Alright. Get D&D fighting here. Backbone of this of this system. Now, it does things a little differently in this game than the actual the scrolls, but that's not important. And as presented, it feels mostly the same. I'm going to nice.
Swift and lethal.
First level combat is not exactly the most important thing, but it does kind of give you a sense.
You proved surprisingly adequate in battle.
Alright,
Now,
so then I'm
to the helm.
to the helm, yep, to the helm where needed. So I'm pushing Alt here, which means I can kind of see all the guys around. mechanic perception check. That's useful. That is add to wares. Scimitar.
These boots have seen everything.
Oh, if I can- take a look at it. See what we got. The two of us. My display. 'Cause I can kind of monitor this game. Okay. Just a bit laggy. Trying to keep slates. Have a bow. That's kind of going to be my main thing. It doesn't say I can't use it. So let's just start in the main. Huh. I don't need to find familiar in this section.
Something good here, I hope.
I've already kind of got my own thing, but give that to take that brawl. What else? All way over there. Another notable thing about this game is it's very loot heavy, and something that Larian does pretty well is just make attractive junk. Because by the end of the game, you're gonna have, if you're like me, you're gonna have so much. Like we're gonna be dancing around this limit for most of the game. Sorry, you have to see that about me. Throw those. Might be useful. Keep things in the.
Ship won't be able to take another dragon attack. We need to get out before it's too late.
Also going to try to do minimal like save stuff. There might be some situations where do. Walk through a snack rate. Great.
Gate machinery. I can make no sense of it.
Another mystery.
Failed that Arcana check. Now, I haven't played D&D. You're playing in this game, but I just did required a check. Yeah. Arcana check, and I failed it. But that they're doing that behind the scenes.
Aggression.
Nice.
Annihilate.
Annihilate. So I already know this puzzle. Let's do. Did aggression, they would attack you. No, be another fight. You know.
Damn it! You! Get me out of this damn thing!
We have no time for stragglers.
What? Way to get this.
Try that contraption next to the pod. They did something to it when they sealed me in. Hurry! Please!
already know stuff. Let's go here.
Seems simple enough.
Hold up. I hate the sounds.
How many hosts
They're
of
good.
this gay infected?
Nice. Another mod I have. Dyeing colors, like colors to dye your outfits. It is all free. Because I'm very aesthetic.
A brain in a jar.
Wears very tall.
Room, but for what?
Well, let's check the quest log. Tell him whether he's a captive. I gotta say, I do like this quest system, this quest log a lot. That it's not just go to this waypoint and do a thing. It is kind of collecting your thoughts on it. Well, some kind of go here and do that. But big thing is main quest. There, and they'll say like just more suggestive, kind of ideas instead of being so explicit. Like, here's the thing.
The console appears dormant. The console hums to life.
Let's do a roll. 10. I have a -1 to intelligence. This may not go well. Oh. Bad. Which means I rolled a 14. I originally rolled a 14, and it subtracted out 1 for my lack of intelligence.
The pulsing glow and organic lines of the device make it seem more like a beating heart than a machine.
Oh.
Perhaps it will open the nearby pod.
I certainly hope so.
Suddenly, you feel a hideous squirming in your head. The parasite. Then discomfort fades, and another sensation washes over you. Connection. Authority.
That would be a nat 20. In case you haven't played D&D. And people exist. When you roll a 20 on the die, immediately, that is almost always a critical success. And that means whatever you're attempting does work. Or at least the most favorable outcome of what you're attempting. There are some schools of thought that say that like impossible things shouldn't be rolled. But if in that situation you rolled a nat 20, it would have the best outcome that you could possibly have. We'll try to just so that way we can have flavors of success. But in this case, it wasn't difficult, and we aced it.
You feel the biomechanical brain of the console process your command and yield to it. A shiver runs across your mind. You feel sated.
At last. I thought that damn thing was going to be my coffin. Thank you.
Your mind lurches into her thoughts. Her gratitude is mixed with wariness, because you have a Gith with you.
You keep dangerous company. Fair point. Looks like there's plenty of fighting ahead.
Let me come with you. We can get off this ship and watch each other's backs along the way.
Sure. Let's see.
I did. It must be because of those parasites they put in us. But that'll have to wait. Are we going to help each other or not?
Yes.
Shadowheart. One moment.
Compared to the other party members, that looks like such a doofus.
It's nothing. Trust me.
Enough of this chatter. We need to get to the helm. Now.
She's right. Lead on.
That key earlier. Add to wares. Some thing that Larian does in their games. I'd say they do this if I've played all their games. I've only played the bit. Big thing that they do is
Faint images appear in your
allow you to
mind.
mark
A brain, a Githyanki warrior,
Victoria's
and centuries of
things that you
darkness.
can auto, like just click a button and sell later. Other RPGs do something similar sometimes, but it's inconsistent. I think this is kind of the best version of that. And even still, despite all that, they still have problems. Taking any damage, so I don't need to use this restoration. The game gives you this at sometimes in big areas where you'll click on this and you'll get basically the effects of a lot of this. I can explain that mechanic when we get there.
We are nearing the helm. Once inside, do as I say.
Who put you in charge? I'll trust my own judgment.
Kanyank.
That's appropriate. Also, this next encounter, this game does what few others do, and I quite like. Giving you to just run through instead of succeed. This is a combat scenario that we can't play. We can't kill everything. We can't kill all the enemies. We have to get through in a time limit. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try and get that sword off the guy here. Devil, you see.
Thrall, connect the nerves of the transponder.
If you can,
We
it's a good
must
early
escape.
game weapon.
Now.
Do it. We will deal with the Geich after we escape.
Connect the nerves. Nerves! We will connect them.
Okay.
We need to get out. Now.
Okay. I don't know if we're gonna make of getting this weapon. We're gonna try. I can go here to Dang it. Well, that's not fair. These didn't happen. Right. Characters over here, right them. And this.
Time to strike. This is your end.
Yep. Just there. What is our mind flare friend? Also, like, take out the. If in the 15 rounds you can take out this guy, nice XP. But you're looking at about 150 damage. I can never. I've managed to take him out in this fight maybe twice times.
Moving.
cantrip firebolt on. Not great. Dark vision. Oh, no resistances. Dawned on me after I did the firebolt that maybe fireproof, but no. I'm going to
Keep going.
What is this? Arrow of ice. All nearby creatures. There. Threatened. Beasts. Pretty piddly, actually. Spike. All right. Dash, which we're going to double at the cost of.
I will ascend. My path be true.
I'm going to bring her over here. You have to really weigh that. Do you want Sacred Flame him? There we go. Oh.
Ignore the devil. We must take the transponder.
These boots have seen everything.
Thing. Let's dash. Like dash. This is our action, and we're gonna go up.
Hurry!
I want
before
that
they
sword.
strike.
But I don't think we're just gonna skip that. I've already used my abilities. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna drop. So piddly.
Victory awaits.
Victory.
My path be true.
And no. Far out.
Onward.
Guiding. There we go. Knock him out.
If ship hits the ground, we're dead.
Yeah. Right? You don't have to tell me.
Don't waste a step.
Pretty good animation, actually. Do it. We're gonna
I am
support that plan.
fury.
Right.
I am death.
You'll notice that her attack had different percentages. It's just based off of their skills. It's doing a lot of the D&D stuff in the background in terms of your wisdom, perception, and things like that, and your modifiers. Stuff that you would be normally rolling for. It's in the background. It's there, but just out of sight. There. Oh, yeah, everyone's missing. We're not gonna... I did.
Have to keep going.
These two.
What path lies before me?
Forward, Istip, before more dragons come.
Yeah. Got it.
Swift and lethal.
Oh. Looking
On
rough.
my way.
Rosario will have your head.
Also worth noting, if you're ever playing this game, is that at about round 10, it seems to be, reinforcements start to come in the form of Cambions. They are real heavy hitters. For level 1 characters, you have no chance. So if you're trying to get the weapon off of him, and by round 10, you really haven't made any progress, and you're still here, a cool 95 points left, we're not going to do it. You're kind of at the mercy of the, I don't know if you call it RNG, but the kind of the roles here. And if while you're in this beginning part, this Mind Flayer guy does take some huge chunk, but in my case, clearly it's not worth it. And instead I'm going to the transponder and then exit this encounter.
The Helm's alien transponder. You've made it in time.
I quite like the opening to this game a lot, and out of any of the games, it might be one of my favorites. In the past few years, at least, nothing quite beats Mass Effect 2's opening in terms of its excitement, its shock value, its setting up just every part of itself so well. This is a pretty close second, I would say. Looks like such a hobo. Okay.
As you wake, the tadpole squirms in your skull.
Ah, there we go.
Other than the infection, you're more or less intact. A miracle, given everything you've been through. but it'll all be for nothing if you don't find help soon. The tadpole is a death sentence, and the clock is ticking. You need a cure.
Save. Been a good minute since I've done a real save. Get covered. Old Fisher.
What's inside? Time to press ahead.
We all landed so peacefully outside of this thing. I do not want to get on Shadowheart's bad side.
You're alive. I'm alive. How is this possible?
Now, you never not see her pocket that orb thing, but in terms of gameplay in D&D in general, that would be relegated. Given that she's being very obvious about it, it might be a simple roll, or it might just be used as passive, but there's still a calculation. So in tabletop mechanics, as a DM, I would be keeping in mind that passive perception is still good enough against her being secret about it, but she's not being very good at it in general. So it would play out like this, where it's just like you're always going to know that that's happening. It's not so secretive.
I remember the ship. I remember falling. Then nothing. No, I don't recognize this place. But anything's an improvement on where we just came from. First things first, we need supplies, shelter, and most of all, a healer. We might have escaped, but we still have these little monsters in our heads. We need each other, and we both know what's at stake. Can't think of better company.
Ooh. Oh my. Better company. No, that's where we part ways. Like, I like that this game gives you options to
One thing,
be a real butthead.
just before we go.
It lets you do that. But also,
I wanted to thank you again
I like that
for freeing
this
me.
game lets you just not
It would
have
have been all
your
too
party
easy for you to run right past my pod,
freedom. And that's
but you didn't.
kind of the promise of D&D in general.
I'll remember that. Lead the way.
So any game that doesn't have that is spoiled now because of this. Because in general, I see a choice like, no, I don't want you with me. The game will make a way for it to happen. You're stuck together no matter what you do. In this, no, you actually you can choose not to play this game with Shadowheart as your companion. You can leave her behind, kill her.
What's in here?
It's a great amount of freedom. Now, we didn't actually do a lot of combat. So we didn't level up. Could be a problem for the next encounter. I'll have to review this stream after to see how things look, because there's just little visual glitches. If I have a lore, I'm playing at a lower resolution. My computer isn't that good. Nine experience. Oof. Now, something that isn't given oh,
Fresh water.
brought
There must be a settlement somewhere nearby.
this idea of camp supplies. The camp supplies. They are the way this game can make it so you don't just long rest. In terms of, it gives a kind of a pacing thing. If you just long rest all the time, you would, and every encounter would be actually super easy. But for someone running into long rests take time. Generally, in the rules, it's 8 hours, and so DM can balance that in person. So in my case, you're chasing an enemy, you're going through a dungeon. All of a sudden, like you just tapped, you need rest. Do that. I let you do that. But keep in mind that 8 hours passes. Someone they escape, they get away. No way in 8 hours they would. That's hard to program and to make it super flexible in the game, so it's just camp supplies. Because in general, this is not communicated at all. Is that time doesn't really pass. Long rests here. Instead, kind of does this pseudo thing where if you are presented with a time or you're presented with a deadline, the minute you're presented with that deadline, now you can't do the long rest without passing time. But until then, no. So just to give you kind of a sense of things, that's still a lot of map work to do. But somewhere up here, somewhere, there is a fire. The building is burning down. But until you encounter that burning building and that thing is now present and you're aware of it now and the game knows you're aware of it, that's when the time passes for it. Just little things like that to keep in mind. It took a minute. And I mean, I guess that's on purpose to make you feel like you can't quite long rest all the time. Or you should manage that well. Still need
More
to.
of those wretched things.
It's just a lot more forgiving. With the exception of one area. Game, but it's a late game thing, and jury's still out.
Better be cautious.
We're going to
Oh, man slipped. Better stay back. One strike could be lethal.
Now that's good. If you can surprise your enemy in both the tabletop game and this game, you're gonna have a good time. Your
Cloak and
Shadowheart
Dagger,
is not
my
an
favorite.
initiative, so let's bring her there.
Still on my feet.
Can't do anything. Now there's a prize. So in 2014 D&D, surprise kind of worked like this. I was working in the game. You kind of get your surprise round off, and the enemy loses basically. Yeah. So, play this game. You're playing pretty close approximation. 2014.
catch a break.
Target outside of normal range. Fire. That'd be good. Something that's not used in D&D a whole lot, or at least with games I've played, I forget to run things like this. Is that you have substances on the ground, and Larian does this a lot. If an enemy is in a substance and it's flammable, you're probably better off sparking them. That way, like, they take extra damage. It really rewards you for that kind of thinking. I don't have any. Oh boy.
What should I do? On the move.
One more spell slot. Let's.
Can't afford to let up. You fight well. Perhaps our survival isn't such a distant prospect.
Level up time. Well, when you play, you level up, and might I just say, I love the sound design for leveling up in this game. Okay, so Ranger, you get a lot of spells, but it would be useful to have spells that. Strike is probably good. Guy. Let's do that. Bow and arrow. That guy's gonna be ranged. But in general, you could also do more of a defensive thing with an armor class that boosts that. Useful for heavy hitters. Dueling. That one's fine. It just gives you more damage for the one-handed weapon. People like this one too. And if you're familiar with Rich Duerden from the old Forgotten Realms books, this would be what he was using. Twin scimitars. This was also fun. But in my case, I like the ranger thing, the archery thing, be kind of Legolas slash Thalia slash other characters. There's not a lot of choices early on. Choice paralysis can be a thing. Now here, she doesn't have. You have to choose. Level up your spell slots, health, to get some new actions. You can kind of choose what spells you have prepared. Now in this case, since she's a cleric, you can prepare those spells at any time. And then I apologize if you ever come to this video and you're super experienced in this. It doesn't sound like intro 2. We're going to give some context. Create or destroy water. I can kind of set that up as a spell I use at any time, but you can only use what you have prepared. You can prepare at any time in this game as long as you're not in combat. So I like my allotment. These other ones are fine, but there's some strategy in mind. Right now, kind of the best thing is some stuff that is either melee or ranged, a little bit of healing. Some of these things that require saves, the mileage varies at early levels, and in D&D in general, you have you can cause some spells require someone else resisting them. That's called a save. And if they when they roll the dice, they have this number to beat, but it's based off of your level, which means at early levels, when you're making an enemy save against a spell of yours, they don't have a high number that they have to roll to. So early game, if you have things like command, where they have to save against a wisdom save, their number to beat is low for now. Later on, as you start to get more skilled and more levels, that becomes more of an option, in my opinion. Some people might. I tend to not like the saves so much at early levels. Instead, like things like wounds, where it's more of a roll against their protection, and it's a static number, and it's already kind of balanced for that, or ranged. See, these have some high damage output possibility. That. Cool. Oh, us.
Another step forward. What's hiding here?
Your silver locket bears.
Anything of use?
Coat your active weapon. And it lasts 10 turns. Okay. So you can kind of see, as you're looking around this thing, the pop-ups. Everything's based off of rounds of time. So when you're in real time, it doesn't matter so much. But when you have something like 10 turns, what that is essentially is about a minute. About a minute where the toxin lasts, and that's about it. So when you're in combat, the way this game and tabletop in general perceives it is time slows down to a series of rounds of combat. And in D&D, they're divided by 6 seconds. So everything you do in round 1 of combat is within the first 6 seconds. It's a bit of an abstract idea, and if you play it out, it's a little strange. D&D movie did a good job, actually, when they're in that final fight against the sorcerer. And it has them all attacking the sorcerer and sorceress, fighting her. And it all just kind of seems to be happening at once. It's really cool and really choreographed. That's what combat in here and at the table shows. And what it is trying to recreate. This sense of things happening at the same time, but you're different points of view. And what that means is that combat takes a while. So your 6 second round where everyone's doing their own action in the fight suddenly becomes like an hour. Combat is pretty much the main time suck. D&D in general. Back to have Darian do that. Now, something that isn't in D&D, or isn't really used, map. Ah, there it is. Are these? So you get potions, some potions, vitriols, ashes, essences. Doing a lot of crafting of these things, and it's not hugely important, at least in terms of 2014 D&D. And this game, it does help a little bit for things later on. It's worthwhile. I always end up by the end having just so many potions that get our next party member.
Seems like a good moment to talk.
Hurry! I've got one of those brain things cornered. There, in the grass. You can kill it, can't you? Like you killed the others?
Easily. Yeah, stand back. I'm real beefy.
There. Can you see it?
Shh. Notice that
Not a
failed
sound.
perception.
Not if you want to keep that darling neck of yours. And you, keep your distance. No need for this to get messy.
I need him alive. Stow that blade, or I'll show you just how messy things can get.
Promises, promises. But I have other business, I'm afraid. Now, I saw you on the ship, didn't I? Nod?
I forgot what headbutting does, but my character would totally. But quick an explainer, in case you've not played D&D, you're new to D&D, or you didn't quite catch it, is when we were dealing with Asterion here, there was a little thing on the top left. There somewhere. It said save failed perception. This is an asked for thing at the table. So if I'm running a game with players, and the character's like, as this scene plays out, Asterian's like, look at that thing. The enemy's over there. I would then tell the player, okay, you go to check it out. Roll me a perception check. And what you would do is you'd roll that. That's looking for if you notice what Asterion was about to do, which is this: ambush you with the knife and trying to take control of the situation. Your perception would determine if you were successful at doing that. And my character failed. He's not a very perceptive fellow. And so then I'm going to headbutt him by doing this attack. It doesn't say critical, even though I got a 20. The thing you're not seeing is I'm skipping the math that it does. In this game, if you just click it and let the dice roll, it'll do the math for you and show you what you rolled. In this case, whatever I rolled equaled to a 20, but it wasn't a 20.
You son of a...
Your mind twists. You're looking out of unfamiliar eyes, prowling dark, busy streets. You try to hold the memory, but it fades to the worm. The light, the fear.
What was that? What's going on? The worm. Of course. That explains things somewhat. And to think, I was ready to decorate the ground with your innards.
Oh, I'm a star.
Apologies. A kindred spirit. My name's Astarion. I was in Baldur's Gate when those beasts snatched me.
Now, in this game, it might not be obvious, or it might be, I don't know, depending on how into gaming and RPGs you are. Larian also does this thing where you have in dialogue story options. These are are role play choices. They may not advance the story very well, or they might be a detour in the conversation. If our characters weren't Baldurian, all we would have access to is just tell them your name and story. But this is a chance to reveal your character in the game. And how that would translate at the table is players would kind of immerse themselves in the world. Like, oh yes, I am this too. And they would kind of improv this, or that would be the expectation of the table. And, more experienced players will do this a lot without any sort of provocation. And so in the game, this is kind of how that translates. It gives you a chance to introduce yourself as a Baldurian and kind of weave yourself in the story and setting.
Is that so? We clearly move in different circles. So, do you know anything about these worms? Turn us into... Of course it'll turn me into a monster. What else did I expect? Although, it hasn't happened yet. If we can find an expert, someone that can control these things,
Writing of these
there might
characters
still be
is
time.
good. I don't know how much I can actually stress that. Especially with the discourse around a certain new RPG that just came out and how its writing is. I can't speak to that. I haven't played it, but in this, you have some really good ideas about the characters that you're interacting with, and
You know, I was ready to go this alone, but maybe sticking with the herd isn't such a bad idea. And you seem like a useful person to know. All right. I accept. Lead on.
he's leveled up.
Keep a blade close.
Huh. Something just dawned on me. Has nothing to do with it right now in this moment. I'm gonna give it a try. Okay, level 2. He's a rogue. There's not a lot of choices here. You get cunning action, hide, dash, and disengage. Which as a rogue, you kind of get these bonus actions that let you move faster, hide easier, and disengage from combat. Which, in combat in D&D, when you're in melee with somebody, you can't just walk away to somewhere else. Because in the game and the tabletop, what that says is that you're turning your back on your enemy. And conceptually, what that means is that it gives them a chance to do an opportunity attack, stab you in the back, to make their to make a quick reaction against that to hurt you. So that's what this disengagement is. Now, for other classes, it takes them uses up their entire turn to disengage and move to a different area of the fight. For rogues, that's not the case. He can do it in a bonus action, which means he still has the utility of his attacks. Same with dash, which means in combat, as well as attacking an enemy, he can also move to double his movement speed. So in case of this, it's 60 feet. And as you play the game, that becomes more apparent. Right now, it's just abstract. If you haven't played the game or you haven't done the tabletop, some of these things are just these concepts. They just need to percolate.
I've got
What's
a long
leveled up?
road ahead. If not over, then through.
Haven't really encountered anything. Oh, I did mention that we were going to unlock that chest. Let us go back. Now, if this were using the controller mode, it would be kind of like this. Your view would always be on you.
What a day.
Have a Asterion, go in and lockpick.
Oh, for a skeleton key.
Now, This time, I'm actually not going to speed through this, just so you get a sense of things. And if you're experienced, maybe this isn't. I mean, this is all going to be old hat, old news, exciting. But for those who kind of want to understand how the game works, this is kind of its system here. So the difficulty of lockpicking this crate that is crashed off of a cart is 5. Generally pretty easy to do. It's not a super complicated lock, things like that. So all these things down here are your modifiers to any check you're going to do. And that thing is going to be, what you can tell from this, is about 8 to 11 in your total bonus of math. Now, these will all be added together on this roll. And the more of these you have, the better. There is almost, unless we roll a natural 1, there's almost no world in which we fail this check. Because Asterion here is proficient in sleight of hand, which means he's got enough skills to do this sort of thing with blocks. He's got a high dexterity, and he's got expertise. So he's got a bonus to that proficiency. And this thing that I clicked, this guidance, is actually a bonus thing. You can have your party members help you with things. So at the table, you know, I'm saying, hey, I'm gonna lockpick this chest, and my friend over to my right says, I'm gonna help you. It's this. Roll. 3 wouldn't be bad, except for all these numbers. Oh yeah. We ultimately roll a 12, and that means we succeed. Because of that, we can now go in the chest, get these things, and there's already a useful item. A dexterity saving throw helmet. Let's have Asterion take that. And in fact, you're going to have him wear it. Let's drag it over here. Now he looks like a complete idiot, so we're going to hide helmet. Because no one, like, some characters just look real bad with hats, and Asterion is one of them. I haven't found a hat that works well for him, in my opinion. Maybe the feather cap that you can get, like, in Act 3 that is more of like a Robin Hood thing. Sure. A whole lot. However, I do recall I have a dagger. Let's give Asterion the dagger. We're going to give him 2 daggers to work with. Because Asterion can, in combat,
And these things are
use
still interesting.
2 attacks with
Never
such
wanted
light
the easy
weapons.
path.
So that's useful. Now we're going to go... We're actually going to get our next party member. We can. They're good. Squared away, and I've explained.
There, a mind flayer. And it's hurt.
That thing's bound to be dangerous.
You approach the dying monster. This is the thing that abducted you. You could end its life here and now, if only you didn't feel compassion. Compassion. Yes, you feel hate, and you deserve to be punished for it. You should be whipped, made to bow before this creature in shame. It's possessing your mind, forcing you to love it, but then the feeling slips. The creature's mind seems to focus elsewhere.
Another thing that probably needs explaining is this thing here. As well as having dialogue options that inform your story, we'll also have some that are based off of a skill check. So in this case, I could concentrate on his thoughts and try to figure out what he's thinking, or connection with the worm. Great. If you look at it, you'll see that -1. My guy has a -1 modifier to intelligence. He is not that smart. This will definitely be a bad time. Or at least I can guess that I'm gonna have a harder time with this one. This one's kind of a gimme. It's just great.
The monster lies exhausted, defeated. Its eyes, wet orange pearls, radiate malice.
Close those eyes forever. It is a mind freak that suffers. As a DM,
Monster.
runs these games.
Death is too good for it.
This is your freebie. You don't need to worry about the morality of killing. Be cruel to them. Or at least
Dead goblins over there. Worth checking for supplies, maybe.
Bears. Hand axes, you can throw those. I will definitely throw those. Goblin scimitar. These things. Ugly. I don't like them. But I'm going to sell them later by adding them to wares. You can add anything to wares. Add them back. Don't we? The long rest thing. After Gale. We'll get Gale.
What's going on with that room? Looks unstable somehow.
You approach the sigil on the stone. Magic glitters and swirls from it erratically, as if malfunctioning. It looks slightly dangerous.
Here's a dangerous thing. Let's touch it. Give you a little bit of DM insight too. For things that are dangerous traps, things to find, curious situations.
Anyone?
Kind of put them in there for you to engage with. There's kind of like, hey, if something looks bad, don't touch it. Don't deal with it, just ignore it. That's kind of antithetical to the game and how any of us DMs run. We put these curiosities here for you to engage with them against your better nature. Because then fun things, complicated things, silly things, random things will happen. The game will progress. It is fun to engage with tricks, the traps, the problems, the situations.
Ow! Perhaps I should have clarified. A helping hand. Anyone?
Strength. We have now a +1 to strength, so we're kind of got a beefy guy. Let's just see if right. I'm gonna do another roll here and show you the roll, give you a sense of. Normally I'll skip these really fast, so Shadowheart's gonna help us with her guidance spell, which is a cantrip that gives up to 4 health on our roll. Cantrips are essentially spells that are they're your no cost things by rote memory. Strength, roll a potential for 2 to 5 added on top of our roll. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, we're fine. Raw roll is fine. Yes.
That's it! Go on! Keep pulling!
Check in.
Oh. Hello. I'm Gale of Waterdeep.
Gale of
Apologies.
Waterdeep.
Usually better at this.
Usually better at this. Action?
At magic. Say, but I know you, don't I? In a manner of speaking.
You were on the Norse Lloyd as well.
Okay, all right. Neat. I'm going to do a test just to make sure. Yes. All right, cool. So we're good. Test. Stop watching my own stream. Is that weird? As well. Yes, it was.
I can only assume you too were on the receiving end of a rather unwelcome insertion in the ocular region. No use sugarcoating it, is there?
Huh.
The insertee we speak of, this parasite.
I like this
I'm
dialogue
aware
exchange.
that after a period of excruciating gestation, it will turn us into mind flayers. It's a process known as seromorphosis, and let me assure you, it is to be avoided. You don't happen to be a cleric by any chance, do you? A doctor?
A surgeon?
Surgeon.
Uncannily
adroit with a knitting needle?
Gale's pretty
You
delightful.
seem to know enough about our condition to realize it's beyond most clerics' skills.
Most, no doubt, but I find myself hoping to be in the presence of the few. You don't happen to be one of them.
Do I look like the type of person who could heal? So here we have another situation that is a role play choice that will pop up, and in this case, it's my class. I have things that my class of ranger is experienced in, and so those will change certain dialogue options. So you, as you play this, if you're someone else, you won't have this. You'll have your own thing.
As we've established, few enough can. It's not exactly a common affliction. We're most certainly going to need a healer, and soon, too. How about we lend each other a helping hand once more and look for a healer together?
That sounds good. More the merrier.
Most excellent. A parasite shared is a parasite halved, or something to that effect. Oh, but before you think you're about to embark on a journey with most ill-mannered a man, thank you for pulling me out of that stone. It was an act of foresighted kindness, I assure you. For I have the feeling ample opportunities will present themselves for me to return the favor.
Sure. And Gale is leveled up. Let's see what
Excellent
Wizard
choice.
does. So, it's recommended when you play D&D in general that spellcasting maybe isn't your first class. There's some debate on that. There's just a lot to take in. Subclass. Location is... Yeah, we're good. Because there's lots of things to choose, and wizards have kind of the breadth of all the magic that they can choose. They're studied, they want magic. Do that, and after maybe not. Yeah, we'll do some damage. Featherfall, though. You know what? Fall. Feel good about that. Magic missiles are attacks that always hit. Featherfall keeps us floating. Jump. Useful. It's a useful kind of a basic balance for wizard type.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times.
Now let's engage with the camp and rest. We're here. Now, in D&D, how I run it, you can short rest as many times. I generally don't sacrifice too much in a way. Like, time still passes. Short rest is about an hour. The game only allows you 2 before you're expended on that resource, and that's fine. That actually keeps this balance pretty well. But you could short rest often in a tabletop game. Not recommended, but when you have a full party and you've done a lot for the day, you'll set up camp at long rest. This is how the game is. It kind of gives you a custom pocket area that is representative of the areas you're in. And This is probably where we would find
Should
it,
mind my step.
even though it's kind of outside of time and space. Traveler's chest. Favorite colors. Eyes bag. Okay, those are kind of cool. Cape of the Prince. Needle of the Outlaw Rogue. Let's give that to Astarion. Those are just clues. Die. The Wildering Adventurers Pack. What's in here? That's pretty cool. Take it. We'll keep that in there. The traveling chest is a good resource. Let's gear up. Astarion.
Watch your back.
Watch your back. 7. There's literally nothing different. Really just flavor. Oops. Yeah, looks cool. That is actually a very valid way to do it.
With haste.
Now, this kind of acts as some like on Mass Effect or other places where in the long rest area of your camp, talk to your companions, hear about them, and you romance them.
I've heard you can't get blood from a stone, but apparently you can get a wizard from one. Gale seems interesting.
Oh, he is. Story with that.
There's no story. None that you're entitled to hear, anyway. Just forget you ever saw it.
Sure.
We haven't gone all that far yet. What are you referring to exactly?
Managed to remove the tadpole.
I suppose we'd go our separate ways. Not a slight on your company, of course. Perhaps. Perhaps not. If we do survive, we'll have separate lives to return to. I need to get to Baldur's Gate. There's someone waiting for me there. Someone I have to reach. As soon as possible. Thank you. And you're right. It's a delicate matter. Not something for light conversation.
Talking about.
Must I? Thinking about it won't help. We know what to do, so let's do it. Find a way to rid ourselves of these things. We've no solid leads right now, though. We'd best get hunting. If you discover anything that might help us, I'm all ears.
I don't really care what she thinks about how I'm holding up. Let's turn to other matters. So if there's developments in the story in the game, and you talk to them in camp, those things will come to light. And sometimes if they have something of importance, then you'll see that exclamation point.
What's up for discussion?
So, we've picked up a wizard who managed to get stuck in his own portal. Hardly a promising introduction. Oh, what's to tell? I'm a magistrate back in the city. It's all rather tedious.
So very tedious. Okay. So we don't have a whole lot of conversation, which is fine. We're still quite early. About Gale. Just talk to him.
You're not versed in magic, are you?
Pester me another time. Why do you ask?
No matter to worry the unlettered over. If you meet any elder wizards, let me know. There is a matter I'd like to seek advice on from a master.
Okay. So, while we're here, going to engage in the sorry. If you're seeing this, it's part of the mod. Let's do increase the party limit. Okay, and then we're going to apply new party limit. So, recently, this game added mods, and one of my favorite ones is the adjustable party limit, which eases difficulty a little bit in the game. And what I use it for is just to add a fifth member. I have a lot of choice paralysis when it comes to all the eventual party members you can get, and having a fifth one just kind of end of the day. Ah, see, you'll notice that there is an exclamation point. Heal.
Go to hell.
Good evening to you two.
You're a good sport. Go to hell. An everyday expression. So trivial it's almost meaningless. But we've seen hell. It's real. And it isn't trivial. Devils, dragons, mind flayers. They used to be abstracts. Pictures on a piece of paper. What a difference a day makes. Now we have tadpoles slithering through our heads like carnivorous feti. That's not abstract. That's the spirit. Let's be up with the lark. Find a healer before the wee one gets hungry.
Sure. Basic conversation, and you'll progress their people's stories. Most part, I think. Aha! Shadowheart also has some. Let's talk to her.
What were you two talking about?
What do you mean?
You
Whatever do you
and
mean?
Gale. I see. I'd be careful with Gale.
We're also gossiping against you. Ooh. Uh-huh. Trust Gale.
He's a wizard. All they care about is power.
That's true.
Let's hope we rapidly find a healer. You seem reliable. I think you know how important it is that we find someone who can cure us. Best if we focus on that.
What does that entail? Okay. The sooner we find someone to help us, the better.
Good. We might even get lucky and find one right away. As I see it, we're overdue some good fortune. Rest well.
All right, cool. What do we got here? Let's go. Yeah, long rest. Again, this is that system I referenced earlier. That you use food supplies for your long rest. And I mean, I guess you could do it in tabletop as well. In general, if you're traveling, there's resources that you can expend and rations and things. Not a very engaged system in the tabletop version. This, they kind of make it a requirement. You can choose not to eat, you just don't gain a lot of the benefits of the long rest.
calm night is a mercy, yet your eyes refuse to stay closed. Every time they flicker shut, the tadpole seems to twitch behind them. Dragons, geese, and the hells themselves have come after you. Yet it is this creature that lingers in your skull.
Ah, I do have some wisdom. Perhaps I might include it in turn. That will be a roll. Let's save just in case it goes bad. Not a huge difficulty.
You focus on that spot of pain from when it slipped behind your eye to where it now lurks. You cannot prod it, but you can make it clear that you are watching. What is there to fear when it is the one stuck inside you? It is a minor victory, but enough to soothe you to sleep.
Okay. Then we go to interface here. We leave. I think we're good. Now, try. Not quite go the expected route. We're gonna get Lizelle first. Remember the really kind of mean person? We're actually gonna get her first before going this way. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. Normally you would go down this way, this path there. Either convince some people over there or fight them. Cool. We can still do that. But because I've got my adjustable party member thing, I'm gonna try and recruit Lizelle first. Then I can go into that encounter over there with multiple people. It's not going the expected way.
You think it's dangerous?
Zoru was right. Yellow as a toad, twice as ugly.
The thing's dangerous. Leave it for the goblins to kill.
And if it escapes, how will you... Oh, a guest.
Your skull pounds in response to the prisoner's white-hot stare. Her lips don't move, yet you hear her voice.
Get rid of them.
Straight roll. Is that a bonus? And I can only add about one. Let's just. Okay.
He's right. Let's go. We need to check out that blast. You didn't hear it? Shook our camp good, so we came for a look.
Guidance is still active. Low difficulty. 14. Alright. There.
Northwest. Look for Nettie. Whatever your wound, she can mend it.
And be careful. There are goblin traps everywhere.
Sure.
Nymessa, come.
Enough gawking. Get
gawking.
me down.
Get me down. Say please.
Never.
Observe
So,
and
I'm
listen.
going to
You'll hear goblins before you see them.
As you say.
pick up the short bow. Who doesn't have a short bow?
I'm ready.
There we go. Magic guide doesn't need it, actually.
What to do?
Alright. Do
The
Nice.
tadpole hasn't yet scrambled all your senses. Auspicious. But the longer we wait, the more it consumes. My people possess the cure for this infection. I must find a creche. You will join me.
Careful. She obviously sees your kindness as weakness. Don't let her take advantage.
what exactly?
It is many things. A hatchery, a training grounds, a shelter.
Githyanki protocol is clear. When infected with a Gaith tadpole, we must report to Augustil for purification.
All right, we journey.
You have made an ally from Kresh Kalir. Few know such fortune. Call me Lae'zel.
I'll trust your judgment, but I won't trust her. Not until I've gotten the measure of her.
You've a sharp tongue, elf. Would that your mind proved its equal.
Half elf. I suppose the finer details are lost on a creature like you.
Come. The Horned Ones mentioned a camp. One there, this Zoru, has seen Githyanki. A creche must be near. We will ask this Zoru where he has seen my kin.
Cool. All right, Lae'zel is also leveled up.
Indolence breeds madness.
So in the vanilla version of this game, you couldn't do 5 feet. That's kind of what this plugin or this mod I'm doing does. It's got some limitations, but ultimately good. I'm gonna level Lae'zel up, and then I think I'm gonna be done. Because I'm tired playing, but also I've got things to do. So I just wanted this to be like a Saturday morning. Great. Not a lot you have to do. Marshals are very easy.
Blood?
So,
No, never mind.
we will save this here. Save Wilderness for John. Let's bring us out to the yeah. I'm gonna try to make this a normal part of this channel among many things that we've got in store. But I just have to say, Baldur's Gate might be within my top 5 the video games that I've played. In all my years, it is quite a great game. I hope I can do more of these, and I'll keep working with this character. And I might also do some other things too. I've been itching to get back into the old Monkey Island games, the old LucasArts adventure games. Even getting back into Dig. I streamed that years ago and thought that was fun. But yeah. Or yes. Yeah, something more official later in terms of more things. But all in all, time and all later. Or something. Some sign off. Insert official sign off.